Voting is a waste of time. At least, that's what some people think. What do you think? Because if you listen to conversations around you, more and more people are starting to feel that way. Let me tell you about two people. Person A, no voter's card, will never get one, because in their mind, the decision is already made. The elites decide. The boardroom chooses the winner. So what's the point? Person B has been voting for years, not because they think everything works, but because they refuse to give up. In their mind, even a flawed system is better than silence. So here's the question. Are you person A or person B? Because the truth is, both of them might be right. Welcome to Kenyan. Today we're asking a simple question. Is voting a waste of time? But before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss what is coming next. Let's be honest for a second. Person A is not alone. A lot of Kenyans feel this way, and it's not because they don't care, it's because they've seen the same pattern over and over again. Leaders come in, promises are made, and very little changes. So, after a while, it stops feeling like disappointment and starts feeling like repetition. And if you think about it, the numbers actually reflect this. In 2022, about 26.8 million Kenyans were eligible to vote. Only 22.1 million registered, and just 14.2 million actually showed up, which means millions didn't register, and millions who registered stayed home. Now here's the part that really matters. The election was decided by about 7.2 million votes out of over 26 million people. So when person A says, "My vote doesn't matter," you can start to understand why. But here's what most people don't realize. The system is actually more sensitive than it looks. To win a presidential election in Kenya, you don't just need the most votes, you need two things. More than 50% of the total vote, and at least 25% in more than half the counties. Now, if no one meets that, there's supposed to be a runoff. And here's where it gets interesting. Since 2010, that has never happened. But if it ever does, everything changes. Because now the margins become very small. And suddenly, your vote is no longer just symbolic. It becomes part of a very tight decision. Think about it like this. If a team is winning 5-0, conceding one goal is not a big deal. But if it's 1-1 in the final minutes, one goal changes everything. That's how elections can work too. Now, you might be thinking, can we even trust the system? And honestly, a lot of people don't. A recent survey showed that the biggest concern isn't violence or technology, it's interference, it's control, it's the feeling that outcomes are influenced behind the scenes. So, the issue is not just participation, it's confidence. But here's the part that complicates everything. Even among people who say they don't trust the system, most of them still plan to vote. Think about that. They have doubts, they're skeptical, but they still show up. Why? Because deep down, they understand something simple. Not voting guarantees you lose your voice. Voting, even in an imperfect system, at least gives you a chance. So, now we get to the real question. Do we give up? Because, let's be honest, it's tempting. The cost of living is rising. Opportunities feel limited, and sometimes it feels like nothing really changes. So walking away feels easier. But here's the problem. Giving up doesn't fix anything. It removes you from the equation completely. And the truth is, most Kenyans haven't actually given up. They're frustrated, but frustration is not the same as apathy. Frustration means something still matters. So, what is a voter's card, really? It's easy to dismiss it. It's just a small piece of plastic. It won't fix the economy overnight. It won't eliminate corruption tomorrow. But that's not what it's meant to do. Think of it like a key. A key doesn't build a house, but without it, you can't even open the door. The voter's card is access, not a solution, but a starting point. And if you look closely, something is starting to change. More people are paying attention, asking better questions, trying to understand how things actually work. And slowly, participation becomes intentional. Not because people are convinced, but because they're no longer comfortable sitting out. So let me come back to where we started. Are you person A or person B? Because this isn't really about who is right. It's about what happens next. Person A walks away. Person B shows up. And over time, those choices add up. A country does not get the leaders it deserves. It gets the leaders it tolerates. This is Kenyan. Stay curious, stay informed, and don't confuse frustration with powerlessness.